you were tasked with remote viewing Mars. And the time period, I believe, was 1 million BC.
Yeah, 1 million BC.
Who was that directed by?
Well, when it was tasked, I was sleeping in the industrial cube at the Monroe Institute, and he said, well, I have some people here from the Department of the Army, and they have a target for you. He said, I have an envelope here. There's nothing written on it. It's in my pocket. Tell me something about it. It started out with a really large pyramid. The first words out of my mouth was, this must be a new discovery. And he said, why do you say that? I said, because it's huge. It's bigger than the pyramid at Giza. And it turned out there were 6 specific targets that I was given in that particular case. And all 6 of them, I described exactly what was standing there. What was also pictured in negatives by JPL. Jet Propulsion Laboratory. So I finally said, it's like a special race of people or something. I'm getting humans just like we are. Things like the Titanic and stuff like that. I did the remote viewing for him, and it turned out my remote viewing was more accurate than written history, because he went as far as going back to the records of the interviews with the people that were rescued and found that things I said in my reports were accurate. Things written about it by historians were wrong. Like there were 2 guys in the tower together when they hit the iceberg. 1 guy in the tower. The other guy was in the kitchen getting a tin of tea and didn't even know it was going to happen. That's never been in history reports until my remote viewing. Now it's in history reports.
Wow.
Stuff like that.
Wow.
Here's the story of when the CIA astral projected to Mars. This was May 22nd, 1984, and this is a transcript that was released by the CIA. I love how it's just called Mars Exploration. Quick backstory, in the 70s through the 90s, the US government was really interested in astral projection, or remote viewing as they called it, because the Soviets were into it and claiming they were having successes, which may or may not have been true. By the way, astral projection or remote viewing is when you have an intentional out-of-body experience. So you project your consciousness outside of your body and go to another time or place. In another video, I talk about whether humanity can actually do that, and then we also talk about it at length in our podcast. So this guy's name is Joseph McMonigle. I don't know if that's how you say his last name. I'm sorry. He was a remote viewer in this program. He was actually called Remote Viewer 1 because he was the best. And he was the one who got to astral project to Mars. So a regular day at work for Joe was he would receive an envelope with an index card inside. The envelope would be sealed, not exactly like this, but he wouldn't get to read what was inside. And on this particular day, here's what the index card said. It said, the planet Mars, time of interest approximately 1 million years BC. Of course, he didn't read that. I don't know if they give him the envelope and he senses it. I don't know what exactly happens, but that was what the envelope had inside. So then the astral projection begins. There's a whole 10-page transcript of it online if you want to look it up. I'm just going to point out some stuff I thought was interesting. He talks about some sort of storm, a geological disturbance that causes the people, I guess, to go into hiding. So the monitor says, tell me about the ones who sleep through the storms. He says they're tall, very large people, thin. They dress in tight silks. They're ancient people. They're dying. It's past their time or age. He talks about seeing pyramid-like structures, but he does note that they are different than any pyramid he's known before. He describes some structures, including an obelisk that reminds him of the Washington Monument. Check out the podcast if you want more information on this, but what I think is interesting is that he wasn't told they were targeting Mars, right? So usually his work was to locate downed airplanes or spy something or other to do with other countries. It was all terrestrial. It was all on Earth. But this time it was Mars, and they didn't tell him, but he was describing foreign alien things.
Me, Malice Alice, and today we're going to talk about the CIA using people to remote view on the planet Mars. So, guys, They had people that were very gifted, and they had the remote view to see what was on the planet Mars. And I've done this myself inadvertently. And if you guys want to know about my experience and what I saw, please comment in the comment section below. But yes, there have been people that they hired that were very gifted that saw entities, pyramids, obelisks, and other objects on the planet. And I think that this is very interesting, and that this should let us know that they've been lying to us all along. They knew that life existed outside of Earth, and they just kind of covered it up. Why? Probably because of dogma. But I'm going to let the videos play, and I want you guys to let me know in the comment section below what you think about all this.